Hello everyone and welcome back to Genie Craft. I'm really excited about today's video because today we are going to take a look at a very different form of portrait Lightbox. A portrait Lightbox is like a regular layered portrait, but instead of colors, it's the different shades of light that define the structure of the portrait. The entire video is divided into 3 parts. In the first part, we'll be seeing how to develop the template for this layered portrait Lightbox. In the second part, how do we prepare the layers, and the last part we'll see how we assemble the Lightbox. So to develop the layers of the portrait, or to develop the template for it, open the website png to svg.com. From there you will get an option to choose the file for which you want to create the template. So for this I have chosen Black Widow or Scarlett Johansson. For this kind of art structure, you can't have a very complex template with too many small parts. So limit the number of layers. The lesser the number of layers, the lesser the number of smaller parts on the final template. Also, increase the simplicity level of the template, because like I said, you can't have too many small parts. You will see when we will develop each and every layer, you will understand that why I have made this statement just now. So I have kept the total number of layers limited to 5, and also I have increased the simplicity level to 4 to generate a nice template with big parts, but at the same time not losing the detail from the actual photo. Once you are happy with the template, download it and take a printout of it as per the dimensions of your Shadowbox or Lightbox where you are going to assemble the different layers. Next, let's develop the layers. Here are the 5 printouts that I have taken. If you note that I have taken a black and white printout, for this particular type of art you don't actually need a colored printout. In fact, black and white printout makes it much easier for you to cut and assemble the Lightbox. As you can see that when you take a black and white printout, you have different shades of gray and white. So the darkest shade will be your first layer, the most black areas, and the lightest shade will be the last layer, because the darkest shade has to come as the dark in terms of light. So it has to pass through different layers of paper before light reaches the darkest shades. Hence it has to be the first layer visible from the Lightbox, and the lighter shade should be at the last. Also, I have with me ready-made cut according to the size these transparent acetate and OHP sheets. I will use those to paste the cutout parts from the template and then assemble it in the Lightbox. So let's start with the first layer. Here is the first printout after removing all the excess border. The paper that I am going to use for this Lightbox is at least 230 GSM thick. It is recommended that you use cardstock, otherwise your portrait becomes too bright and the details do not come out good. So use a thicker paper. Do not make this Lightbox with a thin paper. Since I would need the template paper later to align with the acetate sheet, so rather than sticking it on the cardstock paper, what I am doing is I am clamping it with the help of small clamps, and then I will do the cutout. So for the first layer I have to cut out the darkest pieces. Actually it's much easier than your regular layered portrait. You just simply need to cut out the borders pertaining to that particular color. In case if within the borders of that color there is a lighter shade, you have to remove it first. It's as simple as that. So if I am cutting the blackmost shade, if there is any white area inside it, I have to remove it. That's all. Otherwise I have to cut along the borders of that particular color or particular shade. After you have cut out a piece, carefully keep it aside. Do not throw it away because you will be sticking it over the acetate sheet. So save it for later use. Similarly, cut rest of the black areas, and then we will move on to the preparation for the layer over the acetate sheet. Once you have cut out all the parts pertaining to that particular shade or color, then take your acetate sheet. If you want, you can remove the protective film from the bottom, or you can keep it if you don't want any smudges or fingerprints. Align your template with the acetate sheet. Carefully align, since I've already cut it as per the dimensions of my printout, so it's pretty easy for me. You are going to use this cutout template as a reference to paste the portions that you have just cut out. Start with pieces which are very obvious where they are going to fit on the acetate sheet by their shape. Use a Fevistick or a glue stick to apply the glue on the opposite side. Do not apply too much glue, otherwise it will keep on sliding on the acetate sheet. Apply a thin layer of the Fevistick and then stick it on that particular portion of the template, and follow the same process for rest of the pieces also. If you are having problem picking up the pieces with your fingers, then you can use a forceps for lifting and pasting it accurately. After sticking every piece, ensure that the template is not getting stuck to the pieces because of the glue that is on the side of those pieces. Carefully lift the paper once after you have pasted the piece. This will ensure that the template does not get stuck to the cutout piece. And this was the reason why I said in the beginning that ensure that your template do not have too many small pieces, because sticking these many small pieces on a thick cardstock is a challenge. So ensure that your template consists of big pieces, or if possible ignore the very small pieces. I found it very challenging to paste the extremely small pieces. Once you've pasted all the pieces, carefully remove the template from the acetate sheet, and with that your first layer is ready. This will be the frontmost layer in your Lightbox. Since this is the darkest shade, so the number of cutout pieces are small and the area covered by the paper is small on the acetate sheet. As your shades will grow lighter, the area covered on the acetate sheet will also increase. So I have done the layer number 2 of the camera, and now we are at layer number 3. Initially I said that whenever you are cutting for any color, you just need to cut along the borders for the area covered by that color, and in case there is a lighter color inside the border, then you need to remove it, as you can see on screen right now. So within the borders of that dark gray there is a lighter gray, so I just have to remove it. So do this everywhere you see a lighter shade contained within the borders of a darker color. Since the process for each layer is exactly the same, so I have skipped the middle layers. I am at layer number 4 right now, and as you can see that as you proceed towards the back layers, the size of the paper that you are sticking or size of the cutout that you are sticking on the acetate becomes larger and larger. And this is what helps in creating that lightbox effect, because the front layers get lesser light and the back layers get more light. Hence the lighter layer is at the back and the darkest layer or the darkest shades are at the front. If it's a 5-layered portrait, you will only need 4 acetate sheets. The last layer will be a plain cardstock paper without any cutout, and it will act as a base at the bottom for the entire light box. Now it's time to assemble. So let's bring out our light box. Here is our light box. I have already opened it from the back. The frame that you see in the light box is going to help me keep the layers in place and create a distance between the LED lights which I have stuck on the back portion of the light box. These LED lights set up with the adapter you can easily get on Amazon.com or any other retail website, so that you don't have to do the electronics work on your own. Once you have the setup, you just paste it on the back, create a hole for the wire to go out at one of the corners, and you are set to use it. Before you start to line up the layers, clean the glass carefully, then place it back into the light box. And now you just need to place the layers upside down. Start with the darkest shade and move towards the lightest shade. So put the layers upside down or one on top of each other without any space. If you'll create space, that is also okay, but then it will require more depth space of the light box and the frame will not fit. So I'm not putting any space between the layers. After you have put the last layer, put the frame back into the light box so that it holds all the layers in place, and then put the back on top of it again with the LED lights inside, and then close the frames with the help of the clips on the sides of the Lightbox. And here is the portrait Lightbox in action. With the lights in my room open, I have plugged in the power source, and even with the lights open you can still see the difference the Lightbox create. The actual shape and the actual portrait is coming through by the different layers of light. And when I close the lights in my room, this is how the Lightbox is going to look like. It's looking gorgeous and it is resembling the actual photograph from which I have created the template. This is a very good gift that you can create for your friends and your loved ones with a personalized Lightbox portrait. I hope you guys enjoyed making this with me and you guys liked this video. Please do not forget to hit the like and share button, and do subscribe to my channel for more innovative videos on paper arts. And I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Till then, stay safe, take care, and bye bye.